Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Matt Capper. There's another video on Watcher of Realms. This is a much different video. I've seen a few other creators make this video, but I thought I would add something to the mix, or maybe nothing. But hopefully this is something that helps clarify why we do not have a patch yet for the global server. I see a lot of people still saying, oh, it's because of this, because of that, and it's not because of this or that. It's a very specific reason. I myself at one point did, but when I had seen some clarification, I thought, oh, well, people have seen that. Clearly they haven't, so I thought I'll add my hat to the mix, and hopefully between all of us kind of letting you know what's going on, it might help your understanding of what's going on. So why don't we open up, and I'm gonna do some preface knowledge, and that is the first thing, which you probably already know, and that is that Moonton is the creator of several games, including Watcher of Realms. You see, their big one is Mobile Legends Bang Bang. That's a online battle arena that is very, very popular in the Pan-Asian countries. I've never played it, never had any desire to play it, but it's very popular there. I don't even know if it's available in the American market, but what we are talking about, of course, is Watcher of Realms. So why do I take you to Wikipedia? Well, because we want to take a look at their parent company, ByteDance. And ByteDance is a big company. It's a much bigger company. You see here, it's got operating income of 2 billion, revenue of 120 billion. So operating income of 2 billion means that their actual revenues are going to be less than 2 billion, probably 1 point something when you talk about net income. And then of course there's other stuff that go into that, but that's essentially their profit. It's not, if you want to learn more about it, I'm sure I'm pretty sure this is it's a private company, so they don't have to tell you. That could be a lie. We don't know because they're private, but they're profitable. They're making money. Probably the only thing is they want to make more money, which is a fair statement. ByteDance has got a ton of apps. I want to see what their biggest one is. I feel like is it WeApp? Is it these guys that own it, or Tencent? It's so hard to know. They've got We. I have no idea what that is. The Verge. They have OpenAI. ByteDance for Note Press. I don't see Pico. Do they not just have a list of apps here? Oh, here we go. Products. They have CapCut. That's a big one. Editing software. It's actually a really good editing software. I've used it. I don't use it anymore, but it's really good for the for short form editing. Very good for short form editing. And then they have Douyin, which is a TikTok thing. Lark, TikTok. So they own TikTok. Okay, I didn't realize that. I thought it was Tencent. See, I never get these right. So TikTok is the big one here that they're making money on. Nuverse is a big one. They're a publishing company. That's their big one. So TikTok, Nuverse, and of course the Moonton gaming group of products. So that's ByteDance. Why am I telling you this? You probably don't care, but you should care. And this is why, and this is the crux of the matter, why we are not getting an update. And that is Apple tightens rules on Tencent and ByteDance in China. Apple Inc. is increasing the pressure on Tencent Holdings Limited and ByteDance Limited, demanding significant changes to some of China's most popular apps. The iPhone maker has insisted that these companies close loopholes that allow in-app creators to direct users to external payment systems, thus bypassing Apple's 30% commission fee. Everything else here is whatever. That first paragraph is everything you need to know. So what is it that we're talking about? Well, why don't we just hide this for a second? Right there. This is, of course, the shop, and you see nice here, big W Gold shop. Joy Up 10% discount, Coda Smile One. If I click on either of these in app, iPhone, iOS, or Google on the Android, it'll take me to an external page. It does not make the app purchase in app. It's an external page to where I can buy W Gold. W Gold is the actual source of revenue in this game. And W Gold represents money. And sure enough, if I were to buy something here, it costs me $14.99. It doesn't require gold. It converts it immediately to $14.99 US, which I then spend money on this directly because I'm on the desktop app, which doesn't have any of these problems, or on the iOS and Google and Android, it's Google Play, and of course the iOS App Store. If I purchase this in the App Store on either of these app stores, they get a 30% cut. So think of something that costs you $10 right here. Privilege cards cost you $10. They get $3 of that. Well, Moonton doesn't like that. Neither does Tencent, which, by the way, WeChat, TikTok, which we've already shown the TikTok, but Tencent's rolled into this because they do similar stuff. They have a bunch. They're actually probably 10, maybe 10 times the size of ByteDance. Tencent's the big boy player in the Chinese app market, and they own WeChat, but they own a ton of stuff. So we're talking about ByteDance, but you can put this over to Tencent. So what's happening is they want that 30%, but they're offering this, which is a way to circumvent that. And because you can circumvent it, Apple doesn't get their money. And Apple doesn't like getting their money, as they said. So what's happening is they've been firm in its stance, requiring Tencent and ByteDance to alter their app. Oh, sorry, I didn't bring this back up. Been firm in their stance to alter the app functionalities. These changes primarily target the mini games and other features within apps like WeChat and TikTok. That's where a large percentage, as you can imagine, of the revenue. WeChat and TikTok are such popular apps in the market, and where users are often directed to external payment methods that evade Apple's fee structures. So we're collateral. So just put that in mind. The revenue that Watcher of Realms, even Moonton as a whole, generates compared to what TikTok would generate is a drop in the bucket. Tencent and ByteDance, both of which dominate the Chinese app market, have relied upon these loopholes to offer more flexible payment options to their users. Apple's demand to shut down these workarounds could significantly impact their revenue streams. Obviously, they have to give 30% of that revenue stream to Apple. Maybe not all of it, because most people, for the convenience, probably just still buy it through Apple. But for a 10% reduction, I know there's a lot of people in this game that buy from W Gold, or buy the W Gold from Smile One or from Coda. I don't, because it doesn't save me any money, because I still have to pay taxes and stuff, so it really doesn't do much for me. But I know, so I play on the desktop, so the desktop itself I don't have the issue of Apple getting any of their money, or Google, which is the best way to circumvent it if in fact they do have to close this loophole. Anyway, so this move of Apple is unusual and might exacerbate the tensions in the Chinese market, the world's largest smartphone market. By enforcing payment rules more strictly, Apple risks alienating both app developers and users who favor the flexibility of current payment methods. However, Apple argues that these measures are necessary to ensure a fair and secure in-app purchase system for all parties involved. Apple's insistence on closing payment loopholes in apps by Tencent and ByteDance is a bold move that underscores its commitment to securing commission fees. While this may lead to increased friction with Chinese developers and Apple users, Apple believes it's crucial for maintaining a consistent and secure payment ecosystem. Now, there's one other thing I want to show you. Is we have Moonton, we have ByteDance. Here's Apple. Apple's net income, $97 billion. So the revenues of $383 billion. Obviously, whatever operating cost comes into the takes down to $114 billion, and all other costs, net income, which isn't profitability. I don't know what gets. I'm not a smart guy. If you're a smart eco market guy, what's the difference between net income and actual profitability? Net profit. What has not been taken out of revenue that would be taken out of net income to equal that? I don't know. But net income, $97 billion. So there's a lot of money in Apple's world. Apple makes a ton of money. Now, at the highest level, I guess I understand Apple's point here, because Apple has given you the marketplace. The reality is all these things are still available on the iOS because they don't want to lose 35% of the market, of the phone market. I would say probably maybe closer to 40%. There's more Android users globally than there is Apple users, but also, and this is probably more importantly, Apple users tend to be more affluent. There's tons of data that show Apple users spend more money. Like, it's a reality. So even though it's a slightly smaller share of the market over Android systems, it's probably a larger revenue stream overall. So you can't not be on the Apple iOS. The counter argument is that kind of makes them a monopoly. There's only two, or I guess what do they call it? An oligopoly. There's only two major, I guess three. You've got Windows, you've got iOS App Store, and you've got Google Play Store. Those are really the only three ecosystems that you can sell these. And for mobile games and mobile centric apps like TikTok, like WeChat, definitely there's desktop versions, but it's meant for the mobile phone. So there's really only two major and a spattering of other inconsequential versions, but really there's Android and there's Apple iOS. So that kind of puts them in a position to dictate whatever they want. And they've had actually a lot of antitrust suits because of that. The EU has gone after them incessantly. America has and probably still will. So that becomes the problem, is for Apple to just host the ability to download your app. They don't have the servers. They don't have all the back infrastructure that these companies have to pay to support these. Like TikTok, imagine what the back end infrastructure is to support it. And same with WeChat. The back end of that has to be massive. Has to be, like, I can't even fathom how massive that is. And so we're in this kind of playing chicken, because the point of ByteDance and Tencent is like, look, that costs a lot of money. All you're doing is providing a link to downloading our software, and you're charging 30% for that. And in my mind, ironically, the iTunes Store was created because Universal and Sony and all these big EMI, I don't even know who owns what anymore. That's been the craziest world to try to figure out. But all these publishing stores for music were taking aggressively high fees in order to have access to music. And one of the things iTunes Store did is cut them out and make it a little bit better for the companies to make money off their music, as opposed to the publishers who were doing anything but publishing. And now it seems like Apple is becoming the bad guy, which is how it always works, right? And Google Play is not innocent of this either, by the way. But they're both wanting a very hard chunk, and they fought with Epic Games, and them had a big fight, and they came to a conclusion. I suspect ByteDance and Tencent and Apple will come to some sort of revenue sharing agreement off the behind the scenes, where there'll be a different revenue share system. I don't know though. Maybe they will play hardball. Maybe this will be here forever. I don't know how it's going to work. I don't know what the answer is, but the net result is, because of the in-app payment controversy, they have flagged this game and others. I'm sure. I don't know if they flagged everyone that Tencent and ByteDance own. Let me know if you ever use any of these apps and can still do in-app purchases and are still getting frequent updates, actual structural updates that would require a major update on the iOS system. But I don't know what that, like. It's basically it's a standoff, and who's going to win? Well, I suspect it'll be Apple because captive audience, but in the bigger picture, maybe some of these antitrust lawsuits will hit home, and more of them will happen, which will, reduce or not allow this world where they can't click on these links. I don't know what the answer is, but what they're doing is they're not allowing they're not allowing an approval. What Apple's doing now, I don't know this piece for sure, but I mean, given all the news, this is what we can safely assume, is that Apple's saying, as long as you have this screen, this W Gold Shop, we're not going to approve your app. And now ByteDance / Moonton is working with Apple to try to come to an agreement that doesn't remove this piece, because let me tell you, 30% of your revenues, especially for a game like this, which I suspect is not in the mass profitability of a Raid Shadow Legends. I think it's profitable enough so that they keep continuing and working on it. But I think if you were to take 30% of the revenue, I wonder if ByteDance would continue to think that it's a profitable version for them. That's where it lands, but it's not even about Watcher of Realms. It's about TikTok, and it's about WeChat, and it's about these bigger major money makers for the companies. 30% revenue is a ton of revenue. So that's where we're at. I hope this helped clarify. Probably made it even more muddled, but I hope that gave you some kind of insight as to what's going on. It's people with more money than you or I fighting over more money than you or I will ever see in our lives, likely. But that's where we're at. So maybe we just keep playing the game. We can get frustrated with it, but I say if you like the game but are frustrated with this progress, hold on, do your dailies, play your less than an hour a day, and then just take a deep breather, and we'll get there eventually, my hope. All right, thanks for watching, appreciate you. We'll see you in the next video.